discussing about the surveys for DWPC request, and following that, Anisha will be taking us through user preferences and collaborators, and then we'll see how broadcast is managed and created in DWP by Jai. So let's go and see the agenda. So in this session, we will see how the catalog surveys are triggered, how the symbol satisfaction survey and custom survey works, and we'll see how to view the results in out-of-box report. And we'll give an overview of how user preferences like notification, collaborators, and others work in digital workplace console. And we'll see DWP broadcast, how to create and manage broadcast, and how broadcast is viewed in DWP UI. So let's start with the survey. So, as we all know, we have come across multiple surveys in day-to-day activity. Like we have given survey or we have provided feedback and got feedback. So, similar to that, our DWPC is also having a survey mechanism. So, the image which I is showing in the slide is the symbol out-of-box survey, which will be available in the request once the request is marked as completed. So we have an life cycle of survey, like DWP catalog administrator will be creating and configuring the survey. Like he will be deciding whether it will be an out-of-box survey or a custom survey, and then it will be enabled in the DWP admin console by my IT admin. Once it is enabled, it will be triggered to the end user once the request is completed. So again, it will be the catalog administrator's responsibility to review the service and taking actions for the future improvements. So we'll see how it is enabled and how to work with custom service in a DWP catalog. So as I said and showed, there is an symbol satisfaction survey which will be having smile emojis and just an question box. So if an end user like to have more questions to interact with their end customers on the get more feedback on how it looks like and how to improve the service, they can have a custom survey by adding more questions and make it more interactive to get more feedback and improve the service. So we'll get more idea once we go through the demo session. Like we'll compare how a simple satisfaction survey looks like and how a custom survey looks like, and we'll see how it looks like in the result view in the out-of-box report. So let me move to the demo session now. So we have the questions at the end of the session. So once we have the demo, we'll move to the next topic and we have the questions at the end. So let's start with the demo now. I have a DWP admin and DWP catalog admin console open in my browser. So from the home menu, I will enable the service and gear icon. Go to post request survey and enable the post request survey. So it allows the administrator to select either custom survey or an symbol rating and comment. So we'll see how a symbol rating and comment work, means the out of box survey works. So we have other options like excluded services and frequency adjustment. Excluded services is nothing but we can exclude a list of services from getting survey. Like if you want this between everyone with yourself or bulk order to be excluded, you can just select those services and add it to this list so that it will be excluded from getting this out of box survey. Let's go back and see what is this frequency adjustment. So frequency adjustment, we have two options. One is percentage of request and another one is days since last survey. So percentage of request means, so once the requested for user submitted the request and which is marked as completed, so we can specify a percentage like 100 or 50. So it is a possibility that 100 percentage of survey will be triggered to that request. So for example, if it is 50, the possibility is just 50%. So system will decide based on their user experience and how he is requesting the services, frequency, everything. Based on that, system will be providing the service. Like it will be almost 50 percentage possible. And next one is days since last survey, which is like 1 to 365 days. So we can specify that once the user got a survey today, he will be getting the next survey in next 7 days. He will be not getting any service in these 7 days, so it will be lapsed for a 7 days. Like that, we can specify the frequency of service should be triggered globally under this configuration. So we'll disable this feature now and save the service. Now it comes to the DWP admin. So you should have my IT admin permission to enable the DWP admin service. So navigate to the service request option and look out for service. So you have configured customer satisfaction survey option and click on enable it. So we have SRD category options, which is related to the SRD to enable SRD service. We can ignore it now and concentrate on DWP service. So as we done with catalog as well as admin, surveys are enabled now. Let's see how it is triggered in our end user console. So now I'm moving to the DWP console and requesting a service which is already there in my console. Um, I'm submitting this request. So I have created this request to be completed as soon as I submit this request. So let's see the survey now. So as I said, this is the out of box survey. It will be in the emoji format. So we can click on that survey to provide our feedback. And based on the emoji selection, it will be added as a number from 1 to 5 in the backend. So we can have a comment also. Good service. Yeah. See at the end how these ratings are seen and how the results are managed in the out of box report. So we are done and we are viewed how the out of box symbol satisfaction survey looks like. Let's go and create one custom survey from Digital Workplace Catalog admin console. So now navigate to the service option and click on service. So I already created a survey, custom survey called complex survey. So if you want to create a new survey, you can just click on new survey and it will be creating with this smile icon. You can generate your own questions from here. So let's see how my survey looks like. So I have an option to add the survey name here and I have an action to activate it or deactivate it, and it allows us to edit that survey designer, and we have a service mapping. So as we seen in the global settings, we can exclude a list of services from getting the survey globally. We have an option to add services into it, like we can add this particular service for a custom survey. So this option will be overriding the global settings. For example, if I'm having this test catalog TWP and I'm having multiple catalogs in my environment and I'm enabling a global settings for symbol satisfaction survey and I'm enabling this custom survey only for this test catalog. So the test catalog will be getting my survey, my custom survey. It will be overridden with the global settings. And the other option available is same as the frequency adjustment. So this will be specific to this survey, which I'm created, like name is complex survey. So it will not take any action to the global survey. Let's see how the service designer works. So something different from which we seen in our out of box survey, we have changed the face emojis to star. It's one of the option which we can make. And we can add as many as questions which we need to get from answers from the end user. Like I have added an n number of questions which is having date and time, some options. Are you satisfied, like a toggle button or drop down radio buttons? And I have added some feedback emails and I have provided the default value for these questions. Similar to that, we can add our own questions by clicking on new question and selecting the type of question which we need. So I have enabled this survey. Let's go ahead and enable the survey for the global settings. So again, go to the gear icon, click on post request survey, and let's change the template to the complex survey. So now I have enabled the complex survey as a global survey settings. We'll go back to the DWP now and request a catalog again. So as I said, the catalog will be completed now. We can see the difference, like it triggered with the custom survey. So as per our requirement, we have changed the questions and I have added the questions with the default values. So you can just have a questions without default values also. So this is something example that an end user will be providing to this survey. Can edit any words like amazing, and we can give our feedback based on that. Let's submit this survey. So we have now come across how a simple satisfaction survey out of box one and a custom one works in DWP. Let's see how catalog administrator will be reviewing the results and making actions. So from DWP home or wherever you are in DWP, navigate to the report console and click on satisfaction survey. So this is something similar to the request report. We have the options to select this week, this month, or this quarter, or a custom range of date from and it. So based on this, we'll take up for the today's one. I have two catalogs which were submitted for 4 times and 6 times, and the surveys are completed for 4 and 6 times. So here we can see the average rating based upon all the ratings which are provided for this particular catalog. To view more details and how the requests are there in this catalog, you can just click on view request. We have the details with service name, company, requested by and requested for user, request ID, order ID, and how the rating is like 4, 5, 6, how the end user provided the rating, and status of the complete, like status of the status, how it is completed or when it is submitted, the submitted. So we can take export of these actions and by clicking on export selected in CSV format, or we can double click on this request to view the request status, like what is the response from the end user, what they provided, and we can see the request details. We can see the questions here. Based on this, we can like the administrator will be providing the report to the account management or taking particular actions against the service. So we can take the response also to an CSV format by clicking on export to CSV. We have option to view the service, which service it is, and what is the description of the service, all those. Similar to that, we can open another catalog also. We have this many services under this catalog, and which is having all the details like what is the survey response, the service request details, what is the request details like questions which is answered by the service. So all those details. Yeah, that's it about the report. This is the available out of box report for the surveys. So yeah, we are done with the survey part. We have seen how an out of box survey and the custom survey works and how to manage the results. Now let's move.
So this configuration is done from DWP side, digital workplace side for an end user. So basically they just need to log in into the digital workplace and simple by providing the URL. And on the top right corner, you'll be having a user icon wherein you need to click the option of preferences and the user will be able to see the preferences for themselves. There are certain preferences which an administrator can also set for all the users who are in their organization. In this user preferences, we have certain information like the profile information. We have like post wherein you can communicate within your organization with different colleagues. We have certain settings of approval. Then we also have certain settings related to notifications, wherein we have in-app notifications, we have email notifications, we have the push notifications. So those will also be visible here in the user preferences itself. This would be specifically only for a particular user. You cannot turn on the preferences for another colleague. It is either the administrator needs to do it for globally for everyone, for the new users, or else you have to set by yourself. And you have an option to navigate to digital workplace admin console configuration part. This is the URL which I have shared here, how you can navigate into the admin console, wherein you have an option to show or to hide certain notifications or certain elements, wherein as part of your organization, if you do not want to your end user to use those kind of settings. All these settings related to notifications, they are stored on two tables which are part of digital workplace. These are user preference and notification preferences. These are the table names which I have shared here. So this you need to log in into the database, and from there you can access these tables and you can see the data. Then we have an option of digital workplace collaborator. So basically collaborator is used as a feature if you are using digital workplace advanced. If you have digital workplace catalog installed in your environment, only then you have the option of this collaborator. This is basically used if in case I am going on a leave, but I want my request to be taken further, or whatever comments are coming on to my request, I want that not to be unattended. So I can add one of my colleague as a collaborator to my request so that during my absence, the request can be better handled. So this is one of the major feature of collaborator. Also, you can share the request, or you can share this details about the request within your organization, within the colleagues. If suppose you want to make any particular note and you want that to be shared with everyone, so you can use this feature of collaborator. You can create a group in collaborators. You can add your people in that group and you can share the request directly with those users. So I'll quickly share with two users. So this is one user and I'm logged in here with another user. So as I've mentioned, like once I log in into this screen in digital workplace UI, on the top right corner, I have this option of preferences. So I can select on here in this preferences. You can see that I have these options enabled here. In this, like if we see, we have this option of profile. I can click on edit and I can add any profile picture for this particular user, for my user. Then we have this option of primary work email. This is since for this user, there is no email or no phone number defined. Hence, we are getting this warning message. In case if we are having these options, these values defined, we will not be having this warning message as seen in for this user. So we can see here like this user has set an email and a phone number, and that is the reason that this is visible for this profile information. This data, it comes directly from the Meteor CTM people form. So if we see for this user, we do not have any data configured, but if I view for the other user, see, I do not have any data here. And if I check for this user, I have the business, the phone number, and the email address configured. And if I check here, it is the same phone number and the same email address which I can see here. As I have shared that we can even communicate with our colleagues. So we have an option here of posting. I can click on this new post. I can add any user here to whom with whom I want to communicate within my organization. Suppose I'm selecting the user Alan and I'm just mentioning a post. I'm adding this post here. Now, if I check with this user, I can see that this user, HANA admin, has tried to communicate with me using this post, and wherein I can now reply, or I can share, or I can like, or I can comment onto this. So this is how you can communicate within colleagues in your organization. Similarly, we have an option of approval settings. Suppose if I am the approver for any request, during my absence, I can add another user as an alternate approver so that the user will also receive the approval notification. And in my absence, the user can approve the request. As I've mentioned, like we have an option of this collaborators. Here I can select and I can add the users or I can add a group directly. How do I create a group? I need to log in into the catalog here. This group would be taken, since as I've mentioned that this is a feature for digital workplace catalog. So we need to log in into the digital workplace catalog UI. And we have an option of people groups here under the people. I have created this group here. You can also create a new group. And in this, I can add the users whom I want to view in the collaborators. So now this group has been created and it has been activated. Now, if I see here, if I go to my activity, I have certain requests here. Suppose I want to, now I want to add the user HANA admin as a collaborator here. So here I have an option, add and remove. Since I had already searched this, so it is visible under recent, or else you can search the user from here. If suppose I'll search this and I'll select the HANA admin user as collaborator. Now we see the message as collaborators as updated. Now if I go with the user as HANA admin, and if I click here, see, I can now see this user is now able to view the request 181, which was added as the collaborator. So similar behavior you can also do while submitting the request. So it will be then shown in to your collaborator user from beginning itself. Now, if suppose I'm removing the collaborator, and if I come here, and if I refresh this once again, now you can see that that request which was visible, it is now removed from this active events because this user is no longer as a collaborator through that request. As I've mentioned that we have an option to go to the admin, an administrator has an option to turn on or to turn off the certain preferences. So we need to go to the admin console. We have here configuration. In this features, we have certain options like this collaborator. If suppose I uncheck this, then I'll not be able to view the collaborators in that section. to refresh this. Now this has been removed. There is no collaborators added here, which was visible. Similarly, we have certain notifications like in-app notifications here is turned on, which we can see here. The in-app notifications is turned on. If I remove this in-app notifications from here, this would be now not visible under the section. Now we do not see that in-app notifications anywhere present. So I'll turn this on once again. Similarly, we have an option here for social activities, for post, the one that we have seen how we have added the post. So again, this also we can check and uncheck it if we want to. Regarding the notification sections here, like we have the approvals, we have requests. Now, since I've turned on the in-app once again, so it is now visible here. Now, this approval request, the feedback survey, since this is now enabled, so the surveys that are received for a request, it will be visible in the push notifications under the bell icon. Now we have this service health social activity. So we can enable and we can disable. Suppose here, if I enable the push notification for request, I do have options here like which notifications I would like to view, whether it is submitted, it is rejected, or these are the different options which is available wherein I'll be able to view the notifications once this request surpasses that particular stage. Now, I have this one request, which I'm just loading that request. So this is a normal SRD. This request was submitted and this created an incident. Now, so this was created by the Alan user. Now, suppose I want to add any particular comment to this. I'll make this comment as public. Before this, let me just see if we have all the notifications enabled. I'll make a public comment added here. I can see that the comment has been added onto this request, this incident, and this would be now visible under the request itself. So this request now moved to the first slot only because this request has been recently modified or there has been some action done on this particular request. Now, if I click on this and if I view, so if we see, this is the comment which is added here and I can view this comment here. Similarly, I'll just submit one request. As I've mentioned, like we can also search here the group. So we see the test new group, which I had created now in the session. This is also visible here. I can add this group directly before submitting the request. So now when I submit the request, this request goes into the auto completion state. This is today, it is submitted. If I view this, this is the request ID 317. Now, if I go and if I see the same request for this user, since I had added the collaborator group, wherein HANA admin was a part of that group, if you see, I can view this request 317 for this particular user again here in the completed state. And the notifications related to all these we will be receiving here just before this collaborator and the notifications. We also have seen the custom services, the custom survey. So here we see that this notification has been turned on because we have the feedback survey and the notifications enabled. These are certain past notifications which has been visible here. It takes couple of minutes to view the notifications under the bell icon, which is the user scenario, because right now in the session we are directly submitting and we are trying to view the notification. But on an ideal scenario, usually we while we are submitting it, we generally turn off, and then when we log in, and then that's the reason then we that when we see these kind of notifications, so usually it has a polling interval of about 5 minutes, wherein post that we have those notifications visible here. So while we are on the session, we can definitely see this notifications being visible here under this bell icon. And this would be visible only if we have the notifications under the user preferences set. Like if we have the push notifications, if we have the push notification set here, only in that case we will be receiving the notifications under the bell icon. If we have enabled the email and if we have the valid email address added to our profile, so we will be receiving the notification on our email. Thank you. With this, we'll move to the next part, wherein Zai will share that how we can broadcast a particular message within an organization so that it will be visible to, or if you want to generic specify any particular comment, or if you want to add any particular detail about a service, or you want to share any information, how that broadcast can be used. That would be shared next. Zai, you can continue.
Thank you, Nisha. Hello. I'm starting with the creating broadcast. So with the broadcast, BMC Helix Digital Workplace enables the user to quickly see the status of the important services. DWP administrator can also use the broadcast to notify the users about events, updates, important or critical information, as well as the share warnings messages. Depending on the what user want to display, they are being configured. By using the broadcast feature, we can also manage multiple broadcasts, create broadcast of different types like information, success, warning, critical, and also it has different colors given according to the type. Again, we have track to the broadcast status. We can add more information to the end users through learn more link. We have an option to add the link in the broadcast while creating it. We can also schedule the broadcast to become live at a certain time. DWP allows us to manage existing broadcast. To work with broadcast, we have to go to the broadcast section of the digital workplace admin console. We cannot edit the existing broadcast. These are the existing broadcast we can see on the screen. One is test broadcast and another is broadcast one, which we have created earlier. As I mentioned that we cannot edit the broadcast, but yes, we have the option to create a new or we can remove them. In existing broadcast, we can see the title. It displays the broadcast name. We can sort by the alphabetical order. We have the options here. You see there the icon button. If we click on that, it will be sorted on the alphabetical order, or click the broadcast to see the details. Next, we have send to option. It shows the recipient of the broadcast, the users who is going to receive the broadcast. Then we have the schedule. It is the local time. It shows the period when the broadcast is effective. Then status. It shows the recipient of the this. We have the status, and it shows the broadcast like active, scheduled, starting soon, inactive. So in active section, we can see these two broadcasts are right now active. The users are able to view this at the moment. If you see the status is scheduled, that means the users will start receiving the broadcast at a scheduled time. Again, we have the third option, starting soon. This is the broadcast will live within 24 hours. And last one is inactive. That means the scheduled time for the broadcast enabled, users do not see the broadcast anymore. Then we have actions, and it enables the additional options for the broadcast. If you click here, as I mentioned, we get the option like delete or create a new. Let's these are the columns and the attributes which I just now explained. Let me move to the demo session. I'm already on the DWP. Uh, this with the admin user. For this, we have to log into DWP admin console. Click on broadcast. I'm just going to admin here. Here we have an option broadcast. Let's try to create a new broadcast. In create, we have title. This is the we have to enter the message here. This is the required field. Let's give like broadcast test 3. Then second is turn the title into URL. This is the optional field. We can include the site link to expanded details about the subject of the broadcast. This is the link available in the in-app notification only. This is also given in the tooltip like this. Again, we have the broadcast type. It includes the urgency level of the message. Depending on the different types, broadcast messages, if the users feed in the in-app notification, appear in the different colors, like I mentioned earlier. If you click on information is the default one and it has the blue color. If I click on success, it is in green color. Like in warning is yellow and critical is red. Let's keep it in information only, and clicking on next button. Then we have here option the toggle button learn more. If you click on toggle button, this is the again optional field. Users additional information about the product broadcast messages. We can customize the additional text with font colors, adjustment types like this. Let's try how we can do it. This is like bold. I can make it italic. I can even change the text color. Let's move on and click on next. Then we have schedule. Here we have send to field. Select the group. We can select the group, services, and the locations under this as an audience. Select the menu. Selecting like a user group displays the picker window to search the select user group that will receive the broadcast message. Yeah, like we administrator. We can select, try searching this group name. I'm selecting this group administrator. DWP admin also can search for the groups created with the BMC for this thing. If the um, administrator is the member of those groups, then only he is able to search that. That means ability to send broadcast to all groups might be restricted. We can search the send broadcast to all groups if user have any of the following roles like AR system administrator, AR definition administrator, or user administrator. So under schedule, we have two options, send now and date range. Determining this period when users will receive the broadcast message, select one of the following options. Let's now select the send now option here, and it makes the broadcast to live immediately. Optionally, we can select the end date of the broadcast here. So here we get a calendar with the timer, and you can select when you want to stop that broadcast. Here in date range, we can um, give the future time like this from when you want to start it. Let's for now select send now. After clicking on next, just review the broadcast how it will look. This is the final the selection fields we have created for this broadcast test 3. Click on schedule. So now we can see this is visible here, and under actions here we can see the details like this is like this we are clicking on the broadcast 3 just to view more information. And we also have the option to duplicate. If you click on duplicate, it will create a duplicate of broadcast test 3. You can change the name here and so on. I'll just not do the duplicate one right now. And even you can remove this one. It will, let me try to remove this one. This broadcast will disappear from the screen. Now, let me show you how the end user will see the broadcast message. Here is the administrator on the other user, and after logging to the DWP, he will say something like this. This test broadcast, this is the broadcast which I created earlier while testing. And second one is we are not able to see because the it takes around 5 minutes to visible that in the DWP page. At the time of creation this, let me show you this also. So this is getting the extra information, additional information I've given while creating this broadcast test 2. Let me see if that is getting populated now. It takes time. And if I have more than 2 broadcasts or 3 broadcasts, it will give me here the button, arrow button to navigate the between the different broadcasts. Even we can get that broadcast messages in bell icon. That is the demo.
As just prior to what Zai shown us for the broadcast, we have submitted one request with request ID as 317. So as I mentioned, it takes a couple of minutes here. So now if we see, now this is visible here under the bell icon, this notification. Also a comment which we had added from the Meteor, wherein, so if we see here, this request is also visible, wherein it shows that a comment has been added to this request. And this is only because like we have the notification for the particular request enabled.
Two more places where we can see the survey notification. So if you opt survey in bell notification as well as email notification, it will be present in the service which is already closed, marked as completed, and also in the bell notification. As you see, the test catalog DWP which we submitted will show the star icon which will be added into the request. So if we opt for an email notification in preferences, as Nisha mentioned in the preferences view, we will be getting an DWP email to our email. So that via that email also we can provide the feedback survey.
So if we see for the email section also, we have all these options enabled, and based on the options you have selected, you'll be receiving the notification.
Yes.
Also,
Yeah.
as an administrator, as I have shared, we have here option of email and notification. So if I go here for the user setting, we can set this notification settings globally for the new users who will be logged in into the digital workplace. If these options are selected, based on these options, the similar options would be selected for them under their user preference. But if an end user wants to change the settings, they need to log in into the user preference and then they can change this. So with this, we are at the end of the session and we are ready to take up Q&A. So
Okay.
anyone, any queries?
Just on that message on request, where will the icon be shown? Like you as Anna admin added a comment to Alan. So can you show me where Alan will see this icon message on request?
So if it's visible to you here, so if you see, I have added a comment using the HANA admin user for this particular request. So since Alan was the request or was having the access for this particular request, Alan is able to see this note as a comment has been added to this request. Now, if suppose I open this request, or if I want to view that what is the comment that has been added here, so I can see here like the comment added on 6th September by the user as HANA admin.
Okay, so there isn't an icon. I thought there was, I read it. There's an icon, an actual icon that should show up. No?
No, that would not be there like that. It'll be here. You can see here. And also, just like as I mentioned, we can see the broadcast messages here. So these are the broadcast messages here that would be seen here. This one. And so the icon which you're, in case you're mentioning here, so we can click on that particular link, like as in, if suppose like on the bell icon, like this notification that I have received that a comment has been added. So I can just go on to this link, an item you requested need attention. And here I can directly go to that request and it'll be visible to me here.
I've got the documentation. I'll go and get it and then I'll show you offline. Where it says the icon should appear. Yeah. Okay.
And also here, like as Zai was mentioning, since she has now created this broadcast as 3, so this is here, it's visible. And with the learn more section, we can see here this message that she had added up today. And the similar, it is now visible under the bell icon as well.